The HR40 is our new remote control. It is compatible with the G1, SC2, so last generation controllers and this generation controllers. So we could see the hard buttons. I want to take a zoom in on the hard buttons. The button combination that we have, the hard buttons, work really well for most devices. And the screen. So talk about the screen. I want to bring up something here. So right there at the bottom of the screen, those are 3 capacitive touch buttons. And they actually work really, really well. So we got the media button, a home button, and a num button. We added a num button. When you press that, it shows the numeric buttons on top of the touchscreens. I do use numbers personally, and that actually works out really, really well. So some of the features you'll read about: capacitive touch, the backlit buttons. Now this is one. This is a good one. This one. This is one of Jeff's favorites. When the old remotes were sleeping and you pressed the play button or pause button, right? It would wake the remote up, but it wouldn't send the command out. It would just do one action. So you had to press it twice for that to work. So now that's been corrected. So now if the remote is screen's off and all that stuff, you press the pause button, it will actually wake the remote up and press the pause. Integrated voice control. Now it's Alexa at launch. More to follow. There is a remote finder, and we'll talk about all these in a little bit more of a detail. It does the camera viewing with intercom audio. It has a built-in IR blaster, wireless configuration, and it's 2.4. All right, here's a couple of screen grabs here. Supported subsystems, so it's a lot more than the current HR10 and HR30, which are really just a home media lighting, climate, and security. So here's a couple images. So this is what it looks like when you're on the media page, as you would assume. As big as of an image as we can get, and then if you tap the cover art, the screen will flip around, and then you could get the thumbs up, thumbs down. Instead of adding the thumbs up, thumbs down there, we'd have to make the screen smaller. So what we did is because the pause and the skip are hard buttons on the remote, so you're really just missing a couple buttons that you don't use that much. We want to keep the cover art as big as possible. So if you tap the cover art, you get those options, and then you get the option to save that favorite image to overwrite it. So that's that. And then the zone page, that's how it works. And the cool thing is, when you're in that zone page, the exact picture to the right, you can use the hat switch on the remote and scroll up and down, and then you can hit select to get to it. Lighting. So in the HR10 and HR30, you got to create different lighting pages. Well, now we just use areas just like we would on a mobile device. So you can see it's consistent. So if you're using the HR40 versus a mobile device versus an ITP, the screen is the same. Video, yes. So we do have the live video does come through the HR40. I actually like this a lot. And you can select a screen, and then you get the bigger image, and then anything associated with that image, like if you had lights or whatever, you can do that too. Intercom, yes, the Wi-Fi on this is always on. Unlike the previous remotes, which they would go to sleep and then the Wi-Fi would turn off, but now they are on all the time. Why this is important is to answer doors or receive calls from another viewer in a house. You can call this device like it's a regular intercom device, and you could answer it with video. If you want to see their video, answer it. If you don't want to see their video, or decline the call. There's no camera on the remote, so you can't send video, right? That's the homepage, and the reason why I'm showing this is, again, to show that we support more subsystems than the current HR10s and HR30s. Utilities. So that's a new subsystem for us from a couple core modules ago, but we added that here too. And it looks really good. Those gauges look pretty nice. Climate, you can see how that looks there. Security is the same way. Now, the big thing about this remote, I think, is that, well, besides all the other stuff, there's a lot of big things about this remote, let's be honest. But the pairing, so in the previous remotes, HR10, 30, 200, all of them, you had to have a USB to do anything, right? But that is no longer the case. There is no USB required. So if you're pairing it to the Wi-Fi, you just uncheck that box there, and then you get this page where you would select a Wi-Fi, and there's an on-screen keyboard, and then you would just enter the credentials and off and running. Now, if you're doing it via direct, which is also supported, so if I'm talking HR40 to a controller directly, you don't need a USB either. What you need to do is go into the configurator. So get that pin that's under network. See that AP pin? Get that. And then in the HR40, you would go into that same screen you were just at. Instead of clicking a Wi-Fi for the home or residence, you would just click AP pin and enter that number, and it'll go and find that controller and pair to it. The favorite buttons. I like the favorite buttons. I think they're really awesome. But this remote can be used in multiple zones. So one of the things we added was an option box there for a different for a zone. The idea here is that so there's two favorite buttons on the remote, 1 and 2. If button 1 is always toggling the lights that are in a room, so if I'm in the living room, I have the favorite 1 button turning on and off the lights. Well, if I'm in the family room, I want to turn the lights off in the family room, not the living room, right? So what we did is we made the event map buttons so you can do it by the zone that the remote is in. So I could still have favorite button 1 turn the lights off of the active zone. To me, this is a huge feature because as you're walking around and changing zones, so if I'm using this in my living room versus family room, it doesn't matter. Favorite 1 is always going to turn the lights off in the room that I'm in. I think that's huge. And then there's some drop downs here for some quick other lighting things. So if you're doing event maps, you could do that cool stuff. But you could just do, if you're not moving it around different rooms, then you could just make that favorite button or one of the 2 favorite buttons switch to a different scene or room toggle without doing the event maps. And then the jump tos. As you can see there, there's a direct jump to. So if you want a favorite button to jump right to a page, you could do that. I show this basically there's some ways to set the remote up so it does different things. The media button, the capacitive touch media button, will always take you to the live whatever's playing or the list of devices that are playing. But the soft media button, the one under the home page, can be set up to do the same thing, and that's native. Or you could have it set up, you uncheck that box to do this, which is basically a zone page. So you can have them do slightly different things, and it depends on how you use it. But this would, for me, this worked better. This is the first time we've done this. So because the hard buttons, they're limited now, we wanted to give you some more flexibility there. And what we did is we did a press and hold option. So natively, it's just the standard press and release for the buttons. But in this case, what we did is we added a press and hold option. So you could see under the, and this is by the source device. So if you go to the source device and you go here where you would normally have an assignment for the buttons, you now have HR40 behavior. So you can see default, right? But below that is override split. And that is what gives you the option to do a press and hold. So this remote, the HR40, has a skip back and skip forward hard button. But what it does not have is a fast forward or rewind button. So what I did for my use case was I did a override split, which is enabling the press and hold. And I have the regular button do skip back, skip forward. But when it's held, it does rewind and fast forward. So that does make a very good use case for doing extra things on the remotes. So the press and hold is roughly around 2 seconds, and then it enables that. But usually, what we do if you're holding fast forward, we reinitiate or resend the fast forward IR command, so that if there's multiple things that does, so just know that does not happen when you do a press and hold. It's just once and done. Here's what the sleep timer looks like. Again, we refined it. Instead of just being numbers that you select, 30, 60, 90, 120, we have the roll wheel. So you can roll it up, select it. And then you can see on the right side, it tells you how much time you have left. The guide. So if you're using TV media, you can add a second page. In this case, you can see I added a page to my cable box, and then I had it set to guide. And then you get the guide on the top, and then you can scroll up and down, cool, right? But there's a checkbox that if you're using TV media, there's a checkbox, enable now playing. So if you use the guide, this actually has changed the way I actually scroll TV. And you can see what is playing when you select that from the guide. So if I hit Comedy Central from the guide, it goes to this page on the remote, which is awesome. So it tells me details of the actual show, an image of the actual show, and everything. Then again, that's only when you navigate from the guide feature and you're using TV media, which is North America only. So this is the number page, right? So if you hit the capacitive touch buttons, this is the page that you'll get on the touchscreen. And again, that was a way for us to circumvent the hard buttons for the numeric buttons being missing. But you have some options here. One, the button one, button two, that's the clear enter. That's native. That's how that was on all the remotes. But if you can override that if you want it to be a different button on those two. The settings. So right now there's settings. There's settings icon in the home page, but you can use the you can use this. Put it in the home page or put it in the power menu. That's if you press and hold the power button on the remote. That's where you get the options for the sleep timer, but you can have the settings menu in there too, so it's not cluttered with the home page. Personally, I didn't like it there, so mine's on the power menu. Also, that's what's on the settings page. You have the option to clean screen. You can change the brightness of the screen and the buttons, change the volumes. The themes, you can change the themes here. You can modify your channel groups, which is useful with the new guide features. And then there's advanced settings, which is voice stuff. Push to talk. So when you're answering your door station, you can use, and I think the default is to set up this way, is to use the push to talk feature. And then what that'll do is that the side button, well, the button on the side of the remote that's for voice, that will be the button that you use to talk to the front door, or you can use. And the Find My Remote. So instead of putting a button on the base, we found it much better to put the button on the viewer. So what you're going to do is you can take your phone, go to the Alarm app, you go into settings, you go to Find My Remote, and you find the remote that you're looking for. You hit the locate button, and then the remote will make noises and all that stuff. But since I'm on my phone, I can just do that. I don't have to go to a screen or go to the base. I could just do it right from my mobile device or from a touchscreen if I want to prefer. Then you can stop it from the actual remote, hit the button on it, and it'll stop the find, or you can do it from the mobile device as well.